Hello, I'm Maya Leila DeVento. I'm a holistic transformational coach and healer and spiritual weirdo. And today I wanted to talk about me and all my witches. And I had this experience. I'm in this program called Inner Coach, and we're working with this technique of accessing the superconscious to clear resistance that's blocking us from being the fullest expression of ourselves, achieving our goals, living our dream lives, all of this stuff. Because the only thing blocking any of us is our own inner resistance, which is trying to protect us. And I have had very strong protection my entire life against being successful and financially stable and making a living doing what I love, which is weird spiritual healing shit. And art also. But I mean, weird healing spiritual shit is also an art. And so I was having a session. I was the subject of a session last night, and the facilitator mentioned something about bringing all the parts of you together. And because he works with parts work also, which is in psychology, we have different parts of ourselves. We have the wounded inner child. We have the warrior goddess, we have the erotic mystic, we have all these different parts of ourselves. And I realized I have personally in my own body had experiences of what I feel are past life deaths, traumatic ways that I've been killed for being a witch, being a healer, being in my power in the past. And two of them involved being one of them having my throat slit from behind, another one being choked from behind, another one is being stoned to death, another one that came up recently in my body was being shot through the back with an arrow. This stuff sounds crazy, but there are people all the time, even today, that are being killed in horrendous ways, either intentionally or unintentionally. But it sounds like something that's in the ancient past, or it isn't applicable to our lives. And again, this is past life stuff, so it's not necessarily applicable to our current lives. But yeah, people are still being killed in fucked up ways. And I feel like I've been killed multiple times. Again, related, not just accidentally killed or jealous husband killed, but killed because I was a witch or a healer or a priestess, or these different things. So, and again, whether that's true or not, I don't fucking know. This is my own experience in my body. And so this idea came to me in this session of connecting with all of these different witches that I've been in the past that were killed different ways, because they were different times of history, different countries. And what if, and again, this could just be something that I play with. This just came in last night, so I haven't actually done anything with it yet or tried any meditation or anything. But what if I access that lifetime where I was stoned to death for being, healing with song or something? I don't know. And what if I tuned into her, that aspect of my own soul and this past life experience that I feel like I had? And what if I started more intentionally connecting with her, almost like an ancestor, but not really a direct ancestor, because, I think this is a non-linear past life thing rather than direct ancestors of my lineage, because you can't really experience, I don't think, epigenetic cellular memory of your mother's death. If she died before you were born, then you wouldn't be here. So I feel like we all have different things going on in us at any moment. We have our own trauma from this lifetime, and then we have our ancestral trauma that's been passed down from our parents, from our mothers, from our fathers, and the trauma that they lived through, and then was encoded epigenetically into their genes, and then they passed on to you. Also, so it's a physical manifestation of that encoding in genetics, which we know now through science is true and passed down at least 11 generations in worms and mice. And so if trauma, and I don't know, I'll just share the experiment because I love these I love this scientific proof of things that a lot of us have felt in our bodies. But so you take a mouse and you play a tone like a beep noise, and then you electrocute it, like you electrocute the ground that it's standing on. It gets a shock. So it will start to fear that sound, that tone, the beep. Whenever it hears it, it will like go into like panic response of like, oh, I'm gonna get a shock, I need to brace. So mice are subjected to this and trained into this fear of the tone. And then they stop electrocuting the mice get pregnant, the mice have babies, and then they take the baby mice and they play the tone for the baby mouse. And this is not when the mouse was pregnant. Like the baby mouse has never in its physical embodiment been exposed to the sound or the electrocution. But the baby mouse will respond to just that tone with the nervous system excitement, with the nervous system, I forgot the word, but yeah, with activation. This happens for 11 generations, at least in worms. I don't know how far they've gone in mice, maybe like 7, 8 generations, because mice take a little longer than worms take. You can like replicate worms pretty quickly. Trauma is literally passed down cellularly for at least 11 generations. So, and this is just in mice and worms. So imagine in humans, like imagine the ramifications, the implications of this information and data in the human psyche. So I think what I was saying was that we have this life trauma where energy has gotten stuck in our system, where we felt alone and in a fear of death, basically. And this energy was not allowed to be expressed and moved in a healthy way. So it gets trapped in our bodies, and that's what trauma is. And then we have the epigenetic stuff of all of our ancestors, most likely, not just 7, 11 generations, but like all of them. Any trauma that they endured that was unprocessed and unmetabolized is passed down literally into our cells, which maybe that's all the junk DNA. It's just trauma encoding, and superpowers also. And then I think we have past life traumas that are impacting our highest functioning in this lifetime, and that we're here to heal and process and metabolize and move through. And then there's collective trauma, there's collective grief, there's collective emotion, that as a sensitive, aware being with the capacity, a lot of us do this work for the collective of grieving, metabolizing trauma and pain and processing. So that's a lot. Like there's a lot going on for all of us that are healers, witches, weirdos, spiritually sensitive, energetic, alchemists, shamans, whatever you want to call yourself. And everybody's an energy worker. Like anybody that is alive and breathing, if you can do this, you're an energy worker, because this is literally energy. You're creating energy and moving it in your brain. It's firing down your nerves. It's all electrical, so it's all energy, and you are an energy worker if you can move your finger. So we're all energy workers, just different levels of awareness and capacity. So yes, so my main point around all of this is I am exploring this concept of tuning into all my witches. And the vision that came to me was this kind of like round table resurgence uprising party with like all of these different witches that I was in past lives, from different times, different countries, different skill sets, different work capacities, being kind of on my round table of advisors in a way of the work that I'm meant to do in this world, in this lifetime, which again, going back to the witch wound, whether you believe in it or not, as far as the past life deaths and killings, almost all women who are physically incarnated in Western society right now are deeply afraid of expressing their truth and their voice and being in their power. And so this lifetime feels like, a lot of us know that this is the one where we change all this, where we reclaim our divine femininity, where we reclaim our power as the oracle, where we reclaim the power of herbs and medicinals and these plant knowledges that we've been separated from over the last few thousand years with the church and with governments and with Cartesian Western industrial society, non-indigenous society. And going back to nature, connecting not just to nature, but to the spirits of nature, to our own ancestors. And this is something, I've been a global nomad now for about a year, and leaving the United States and like going to Italy, Greece, Thailand, and Vietnam, and especially Thailand and Vietnam, they have a daily conversation with their ancestors and with spirit and with the divine. And it's integrated into their day-to-day life. Every single house has an altar and a shrine, and they put food and they put offerings and they light incense every day. And Western society is schizophrenic. Like, we are based on the lie that spirit isn't real, ancestors aren't real, energy isn't real, the divine doesn't exist, we don't have any powers, we don't have any superpowers, we're not psychic. All of these lies, or like have telepathy. So many lies that are just completely divorced from the actual reality, which is the woo. Like, the woo-woo is actually the true. And it's upside down world. So for me, there's this reclaiming, reintegration, healing process that is going on in Western society, especially for men and women, but especially for women, of reconnecting to their inner witch and to their inner power and wisdom and oracular capacities and their greater knowing, their intuition, and the necessity for them to lead in certain ways. And the role of the feminine in the highest capacity, in my understanding and experience, is as the oracle. And then the role of the man is to like take care of the physical aspects and ground the female, because the woman is like, has the womb space, has the literal void within her body, which is the access, direct connection to the divine, because we bring in spirits and children and we birth them. Like, that's fucking divine. That's divine creative power. So women are this like, half in this world, half in the other world, especially when you go into birthing and altered states of accessing these different different parts of consciousness. But men are here to like physically protect the oracles and the mothers and the birthing women, and they're here to physically provide for them also, because it's fucking exhausting as a woman, as a mother, as an oracle. Like, I cannot function in the society as it's been created and stay tied to my femininity and my oracular capacities. Like, it's not physically possible. So, and that's why it's been created this way. It's to like cut women off and men off and humanity as a whole off from their divine functioning and divine capacities and divine powers. And so for me, like, I've known for a long time now, like 15 or so years, 10, 15 years, that I'm here to be a divine reminder. I'm here to remember myself as an aspect of the divine, as a co-creator of reality, as a powerful witch and healer, and reclaim those titles also, because witch just means wise woman. Like, that's all it means. It doesn't mean evil, nefarious, ugly, twisted, manipulative, like, that's all been put on top of that in order to scare people away from claiming it and claiming the power. But backtracking, where was I? I lost my train. The train is gone. It'll come back. Reintegrating our power. Oh, our divinity. So a phrase that came to me that I love, that is a daily mantra reminder for me and for my clients, is that we are here to be fully human and fully divine. So not just human, and not pretend like none of the woo-woo exists and that we're just like these like very vulnerable, kind of stupid, limited, mortal creatures, which we are also, but we're here to be fully human, which involves all of the emotions, all of the pain and suffering and grief, all of the beauty and the joy and the courage that it takes to be fully human, and vulnerability and authenticity and the gifts that we come to this world with. So being fully human and without shame, and being fully divine to our highest capacities, embodying, expressing, holding, channeling our highest divine expression and capacities, and holding the most amount of light and joy and love and beauty. And so it's like, how do we do both as a human? And we haven't been taught how to do either. We haven't been taught how to be fully human. Like, humans are very disconnected from their emotion, from the power of grief, from the power of their own darkness, from the beauty of their shadows, from, from the complexity of being a full human. We haven't been taught that at all. So like, that needs to be reclaimed. That's an option for reclaiming. And then how to be fully divine, and what we're here to create and enjoy, and like what kind of light and beauty and joy we're here to bring to the world. Because there's already enough darkness. Like, there's plenty of darkness. And the darkness that's the sky, and we get to be the stars. We get to be like the bright, glowing little stars in the sky that are surrounded maybe by darkness. But that's the whole fucking point. You can't see the sky. You can't see the stars in the sky if the sky is lit up with light. You can only see the stars if it's dark. And I love a good meteor shower. Like, anything glow in the dark, I've been obsessed with my entire life. So like, meteor showers and stars in general, bioluminescence, like when you go to the ocean at night and the waves crash and everything glows in the dark, like fucking amazing. And it's just any glow in the dark stuff at all. Lightning storms, I love a good lightning storm, like lightning thunder. Like, what's more magical than lightning? Like, nothing. It's so amazing and powerful and beautiful and unexpected and uncontrollable. So you're here to be a light in this world of darkness. And the darkness is made of love as much as the light is. Like, the darkness isn't evil or bad. Like, none of that's even true. You don't need to be afraid of anything. But what do you want to add to the world? What do you want to create in the world? What do you want to give to the world from your full humanity and your full divinity to your maximum capacity and expression in this life, as this human, in this body, with this personality, with this history, with this past, with all of your gifts and all of your shadows and all of your fears and all of your courage? Like, what do you want to give to the world? I think this is the most important question that we can ask ourselves, is who am I authentically? What do I want? Like, what are my desires? What do I want to experience and create in the world? And how can I give that to my highest capacity and live that and be that to my highest and embody it? So I invite you to join me with this experiment of, if you have any access to your past lives or to ways that you've been killed or died, or maybe gifts or skills that you had in the past, like just creating space internally to welcome those aspects of yourself back into this life, into this body, into this reality. Because I know I knew how to do a lot of crazy shit, like in past lives where magic was normal and miracles were part of daily life, and humans were more connected to their power than they are in this moment, than I am in this lifetime, than I have been up till now. And so what if we made room in our bodies to kind of like Neo in the Matrix, when like he plugs in and he knows Kung Fu all of a sudden? Like, what if you spent 80 years in your past life as a monk studying Kung Fu, and you didn't have to do that in this lifetime? You didn't have to spend 80 years in the monastery doing Kung Fu. You could access that gift, that power, that skill that you already spent a lifetime generating, and you could just pull that in here and now. What if that could be a reality? And I've accessed that in different ways. I never really thought about it in this way before, but I have accessed, like with sound healing, like removing entities from people through sound and energy work in things that I've never done in this lifetime, that I didn't even know to do, that just my body just did it because my body knows. Like, what if we just let our bodies take over more, and our soul take over more, and more of our soul drop into our body and run the show, instead of our ego and our fear and our conditioning and our limited beliefs and our mind and all that stuff that gets in the way and that tries to protect us. Which is like, thank you ego, for everything you did, and thank you for trying to protect me, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate the fears of my parents and my family about staying safe and staying small, but we're done. We're done with that whole thing. We've done that. We did that. We've done that for 45 years. Now it's time to try other different, cool, crazy shit. And I think humanity is ready for it. Like, humanity is ready to fully step back into their power and their magic and ready to come fully back online. So just inviting you to join me on this crazy journey. Thank you for joining me on this crazy journey.